Hey, this is Jay from Gizmachi, and you're listening to the Brutally Delicious Podcast. Fuck yeah!
So thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. For those not familiar,
thanks for the invite. I appreciate
it. I have a habit of butchering names. For those not familiar with Gizmachi, did I say it right?
Yeah, but I bet you won't get the name of the album right. Nobody has yet.
Oh my god! Challenge! I'm gonna try.
Go, Riina.
Okay.
She makes fun of me because in the past I have this weird habit of butchering band names. I know what they are, but it doesn't come across that way sometimes.
Yeah, no, it does not come across like that. Not at all. Gizmachi.
Thanks for having me.
Omega Kaleid.
Nope.
It's not Omega Kaleid.
Nope.
It's not. Oh my god. I've been put in my place. Tell me what it is.
It's the first half of the word kaleidoscope. So it's Omega Kaleid. Now isn't it so much fucking cooler now? Isn't the album title like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool now?
Yeah, but how are people gonna know? Like
nobody has yet.
Huh?
Nobody has yet. So
it is awesome. But isn't it a lovely icebreaker?
Yes, it always is. Right?
It is. So for those not familiar with Gizmachi, see, I can say it again. Can you give us the 2-sentence boardroom pitch?
Oh my God, I'm the worst salesman. I don't know why they have me do these interviews, but I would just say that for fans of super heavy, groovy, melodic with some polyrhythm stuff, I mean, it kind of covers all bases, in my opinion. If you're a heavy metal fan, it kind of covers a lot of stuff that, I mean, that's not 2 sentences, is it? That's not a boardroom pitch. Absolutely. Now I'm getting into my you know.
No one ever gets it in 2 sentences.
No, it's hard. It's hard. If I was on the other side of the music industry, maybe I'd be able to do it. But if you're a fan of heavy metal music, I think there's something in it for you. You know,
okay.
We cover a lot of stuff.
So I do have a question for you, and I found it really interesting. I've done a lot of stuff with Bjorn, from my cooking show to drinking.
Wow,
a lot with him on the 70,000 Tons of Metal and doing a bunch of things with him. How did you get him to contribute to your record when you're all the way over here in South Carolina?
Well, we did Ozfest in 2005. Soilwork was on there as well, and everybody in the band was already a huge fan of Soilwork. Like, that's one of the bands that when we got the Ozfest gig, we're all like, "Can I swear?"
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I do all the time.
We're all like, "Fuck yeah, Soilwork's on this, man. This is gonna be awesome, right?" So we kind of became friendly with those guys, you know. And throughout the years, like, we'd go, if they ever came to New York, we'd go see Soilwork at like the Chance in Poughkeepsie instead of New York City and stuff like that. So when the time came to really finish doing this album, I don't want to say anything the wrong way here, but the vocals were pretty much the thing holding up the album getting finished. So we came to the point of like, hey, we gotta get these vocals finished. And next thing you know, somebody else, well, who's gonna do it? And I forget who it was in the band, was like, what about Bjorn? You know, let's see if he'd be interested. So I emailed him. He responded with, "Send me a few tracks, I'll check them out." And literally what felt within minutes, we got an email back saying, "I'm into it, let's do it." And then obviously here we are.
That's great.
So it wasn't very difficult to get him involved. As soon as he heard the new material, he was like super gung-ho about it.
That's cool. That's one of my favorite bands as well. And I know he does that other, like that 70s sort of.
The Night Flight Orchestra, yeah.
Night Flight Orchestra, that's it. I couldn't think of the name.
Love that.
Very interesting.
It's so good. The new album is freaking amazing.
Thank you.
But also, like, your stuff is really good. I especially enjoyed the song "Broken Ends," which was, you know, like, not a lot of steps away from Soilwork in a way.
Yeah, it's kind of, I'd say the meat and potatoes of the song is pretty straightforward. A lot of 4/4 going on, you know, the just driving riffs. but then we kind of get into our comfort zone in the middle of the song with the bridge bending stuff and that kind of thing. But I think that's pretty much why that song was the first single we released, is because it was a little more straightforward. And I know some people were like, wait a minute, this isn't the Gizmachi we remember. Like, so maybe it was the wrong single to release first. I don't know, but I like the song. I think it's pretty cool. And obviously you like it. So, hey,
yeah, I don't think it's the wrong single to release first. I think it's, it's catchy. So it's like easy to get into the band through it, and it's not like their stuff is so far away from it that you'd be like, what the hell is this? Like, it's a scam. But,
and the fact that it's been like 16 years since that first album came out. I mean, a lot of people either A, never heard of us, or B, forgot we were even, doing anything anymore. So I thought it was the right song to kind of come out as the first single to kind of get everybody's, lips wet, for lack of a better term.
I love that.
So looking at your bio, I didn't realize you guys how did you gain the attention of Sean Crahan as well? Is that all through Ozfest? No,
this was, I'd say as far back as maybe 2003, our old singer, Sean, he like, we'd record demos and stuff like that at local studios. And he would literally, like, we're from the days of printing our own CDs, on our home computers and stuff, and putting labels on them. And our old, like, IUMA, remember that website? The IUMA stuff or whatever. Yep. So we'd, print CDs, go to shows, hand them out. So Slipknot would, obviously they were heavily touring at the time. And Sean, our old singer, would literally follow Clown around, sneak his way backstage, and basically tell him, you're going to listen to my band. I'm not going anywhere until you listen to this. And we had like a kind of like a relationship with him a little bit, back and forth through email. Like, we'd send him songs, he'd kind of critique a little bit. And then the cool story, I think, like a week or two before Easter in 2004, we got a phone call from Clown, and he's like, I'm going to be in New York City on Easter Sunday. You're going to rent SIR Studios, and I'm going to bring some guys from the label down from Sanctuary Records, and you're going to do a showcase for us. If you guys start playing, if I don't like it, I'm just going to walk out, not even going to bother. And I was like, I'm on the phone, I'm like, oh my God, like, there's not enough pressure already that you're going to come see
just
us
a little bit of pressure.
Play on a stage. Nobody there except for you guys, It was pretty nerve-wracking, to say the least. And then obviously Easter Sunday, the studio's not open, so we had to like pay super extra to have it open, and then pay another super extra charge to have an engineer there to, like, to mic everything and do the sound. But it was very nerve-wracking at first, but then getting to know him after that, and even that day, like, it was just, I think he was kind of like, letting us know, like, this is serious stuff. And once we got to know him, everything was cool. We were actually close, pretty close for a while there as well. But it was just a cool experience. I like telling that story a lot. But it was very nerve-wracking, to say the least.
Okay. Yeah, I can only imagine. That's like, I don't know whether that was just to get you guys to take it seriously. Maybe he had like these terrible experiences where a showcase was interpreted as, please show up as drunk as possible and make asses of yourself while I bring all these important people from 2 states over or something.
Oh, you're right, because I mean, not that we wouldn't take it seriously, but I think he was kind of letting us know that nothing is going to be given to you. You're going to have to show up with your A game. And it was early in the afternoon as well. And obviously bands aren't used to playing early. It's, especially like, we have Mike in the band who sings the clean vocal stuff, so it's a lot of warming up you have to do and all that stuff. And we were kind of like, man, I'm trying to think what time we played it. I think it was like 12 or 12:30 in the afternoon. It was like, what the hell? But hey, you got to do what you got to do. Not that I'm complaining about it, but it's a different mindset, and everything's like kind of feels like you're rushing, and it's like, oh my God, this could be the biggest day in our careers. If we botch this, then what? So a lot of that goes into it. But we obviously, I don't want to say obviously, but I think we nailed it that day, because
right.
what happened after that.
Hey, what's up, my friends? Bruce Moore here. If you're searching for a podcast about crime relating to actual life events of military personnel, veterans, family members, and those associated with the military in any way, then have I got a show for you. I want to introduce you to the Military True Crime Addict, where they explore a plethora of actual true crime stories that have not been reported on by news outlets or news media. Stories that upon hearing, you'll be astounded by. Such history should have been told and reported on a long time ago. Here, they provide voice to the victims so you can hear their side of the story and raise awareness of these heinous crimes and fight for those most impacted. Best of all, you don't need to know anything about military to enjoy this podcast. Listeners can hear true crime stories with precise dates and the specifics of what occurred. I urge you to click that link in the bottom and go check out Military True Crime Addict. You won't regret it. It's got to be an interesting dynamic playing to 5 people in the industry as opposed to playing 3 people in the industry.
It was 3 people that day.
The dynamic has got to be so different because you don't have that energy and that whole thing to feed off of, right? So that adds to it.
Yeah, because some people think that the more people you play in front of, the harder it is. And it's the exact opposite. I mean, we remember playing gigs at CBGB's in New York City on like a Wednesday night at 11 p.m. in front of the bartender and like the other band or 2 that was playing the same night.
Is that
stuff's not fun.
Yeah.
It's very difficult because, like you said, you feed off the energy of the people and then you give it back, and it's like a back and forth thing. And, the Ozfest shows, and we're playing in front of a few thousand every day. I mean, that's, even though a lot of those people aren't there specifically for you, but it's a different thing when you see everybody out there going crazy and, a couple people singing along with, there's no better feeling. There really isn't. And it's, but playing in front of a lot of people is definitely better than playing in front of, a couple.
Right.
Because you feel more under the microscope.
A little bit.
Can you speak to that, Riina?
A little bit. Yeah, because I've played my best gigs to a handful of people. I have a band, and back in the day, I remember we traveled to this festival in Germany, and the entire festival flopped. There were big names like Therapy and Dimo Borgir and blah blah blah, and there were maybe 100 people at that festival altogether. So when we were playing, there was 20 or something there in the audience. But then again, they were definitely there for us. And I bet there were people at the Bee Gees specifically for you guys, your most hardcore fans. And sometimes just playing one person, focusing on that one person. I don't care. If there's 2 of you, then I'm going to give my all to 2 of you. It doesn't matter.
Well, you are right in that sense, because you got to think of okay, even if one, like you said, if one person is there for you, it could be your biggest fan. You want to make the show special for them. You don't want to nobody, there's nobody here. You don't want to do that, because and the same thing, if people aren't a fan of your band or don't know about you, that you want to nail it. So they're like, holy crap, these guys, there wasn't anybody here, and these guys were playing they're playing in front of 50,000 people. It was cool. So yeah, sometimes it is hard to get into it, but you have to remember this could be your only chance to the first impression thing with people that have never seen you, or if somebody is there that's really a fan of yours, you don't want to mail it in that day.
And at the end of the day,
exactly. And of course, that's
yeah,
right.
They pay them
money. And not just that, but they are sacrificing their time, which is the most valuable commodity any of us have. Yep. Is they come there, it's going to be 2 hours, an hour that we play, an hour and a half, and then they've commuted and blah, blah, blah. They've sacrificed at least a half a day of their life, and that's worth more than the 10 euro ticket or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's what you need to respect is the time.
Yeah. And when you are playing live music, when you're a touring band that, however long you have on stage, whether it was, 15 or 20 minutes on Ozfest, 45 minutes if you're direct support or whatever it is, that's the most important thing of that day, is that however many minutes on stage you have that night. So you gotta do it.
Yeah. So assuming we get,
and I bet that
assuming we get
that whole showcase thing. Oh, shit, we're doing it again. We have this epic delay of the 1.5 seconds where the other person waits and then we start.
Go ahead.
That's all right. That's all right.
Go ahead, Bruce.
I was going to say, assuming that everything starts to open up again and you guys get back on the road, is there a plan for a vocalist? Or are you taking Bjorn with you?
We've had kind of internal little discussions in the band. And I guess the dream scenario would be, we're thinking maybe next summer, if there's an opportunity to maybe play some festivals over in Europe. I just don't know exactly. I don't want to speak out of place and say something wrong and somebody hears it and they're like, wait a minute, I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? So I don't want to get myself in trouble, but the dream scenario would be, maybe Soilwork or Night Flight Orchestra or both or something are on some festivals in Europe. Maybe we get on the same festivals. I'd like to perform this album or the songs from this album with the singer that's on it, So, and as far as like just doing a regular like US tour in the back of a van and stuff like that, I'm going to be 44 in a few weeks. I have 2 beautiful children downstairs and a lovely life downstairs. And I don't want to, be away for a super long period of time with a bad back in a van, lugging our stuff. So the festival thing would probably be the option, whether it's a US festival, like an Ozfest type thing, if they get back to, something like that, or the European festivals, which we did the Europe stuff in 05 is 05 or 06 was that? I can't remember now, but that was awesome. That was a great experience. So that would be probably the 2 options that we'd be able to do. But a lot of things, the planets would have to be aligned and all that stuff for it to happen. So We'll see.
If you make it to Finland, I'll buy you a beer.
There you go.
I'll show you a picture of my kid and you'll show me pictures of yours and, we'll bond and it'll be great.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, it's a great thing, man. And that's the thing too. Like when, the first album came out, I was 27 years old. The rest of the guys are a couple years younger than me. And that was the only thing at the time in our lives that mattered, Obviously it's 16 years later. Mike, the other guitar player and the singer in the band, he has a beautiful kid and a fiance. So it's just weird when all of a sudden, obviously we all think that this is our best album, best thing we've ever released. We couldn't imagine putting out a better album, but it's just weird when it comes to like doing the day-to-day band stuff and, the band is like, 3rd or 4th on the list of
priority list,
things that, So I know a lot of people don't want to hear that type of stuff, but it's true. I speak openly and honestly about a lot of things. And, if you get phone calls and stuff about the band and the kids in the background, so.
Also, you don't want to take away from the kids' soccer game or the kids' volleyball game to be dealing with that because priorities are priorities, right?
Yeah. And I grew up, my parents were always, at every single game I played and every gig when we played locally, my parents were always there. And I want to be there for my kids when they start playing sports and stuff too. So
did you ever imagine 16 years later or whatever?
Am I dropping out or is it you? Who's dropping out? Is it me?
I don't know.
What?
Am I there?
Is my connection bad or is it somebody else's?
Hello? You got me? Am I there?
Oh yeah, Bruce is now breaking up completely.
You can't hear me?
We can now, but I don't know. There's been something up with Zoom all day, but
I don't know. It's been weird today. I was going to say, you said you've been in it 16 years. You ever imagine you'd still be doing this 16 years later and still be relevant?
That's a good question. I didn't think anybody would give a shit, really. I don't want to say I didn't think. I knew there would be the hardcore people that we always, that post stuff and send us messages and stuff like that were pissed off. Some of them were pissed off that it was taking this long. But as far as, there's the music on Sirius XM Liquid Metal, the new single is actually coming out in a couple of weeks as well. And the reviews for this album, I think there's only been like one kind of negative review that any of them that I've read. And I'm like, holy crap, what, this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And, I've said this before, but if the album came out any earlier than it did, it wouldn't be the album that it is. I mean, it really would. I know some people were pissed that it took so long, but Bjorn Strid is on it.
Yeah, how do you beat that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I could.
Go ahead.
My band had, like, you took longer than my band. We took 12 years.
So you're like on the Tool schedule. You're on the Tool schedule, like 12 years,
Definitely. But at least you guys waited until like towards the end of the pandemic. So you have some sort of hope for doing these festival gigs and touring and so on. We released in August 2020.
Oh, yeah.
No, it well. But
that's the thing too. This kind of leveled the playing field for us a little bit. Obviously there's nothing good that's coming out of what's happening, but as from a band standpoint of like not being relevant or even being out there for the past X amount of years, everyone's at home right now. So we were kind of like, all right, we put out the album now. If everybody else is on the road and we're sitting home, we put an album out, no one's going to give a shit. So, like I said, hopefully maybe next summer we can do some stuff, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I'm itching to get to a show, as I'm sure everyone listening and out there is for sure.
Yeah.
Riina, you have anything else?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to say I completely get what you mean with the whole, it wouldn't be the album it is now if you had released 8 years before now or whatever. Like, sometimes things just take a little time for the puzzle pieces to click into place and so on. And it does sound freaking amazing. And like I said, I already have a favorite song and I'm going to dive into the entire, catalog of it, as soon as possible. But just, I wish you the best of luck and hopefully we get to look at those pictures of our kids soon.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I appreciate you taking the time, my friend. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Good luck with the record, and hopefully we're not too far away from each other. We'll cross paths somewhere along the way.
Wait, so where are you?
I'm in Richmond.
Oh, that's right. You're Richmond, Virginia. So you know the Lamb of God guys?
I do. I know Willie Adler lives a couple blocks away from me, and his kids went to school with my kids.
No shit. That's cool. Yes, because we did back in, it might have been 2004 actually. The Slipknot had the Subliminal Versus tour.
Mm-hmm.
And we were on the first, I believe, 2 weeks of that tour. So it was Shadows Fall. Well, we opened, obviously.
A DC band, right? They're all from here.
Yeah. So Shadows Fall, Lamb of God, and Slipknot. And that was cool as shit. I mean, the album literally had just come out and we were already playing like half stadiums.
Right.
Obviously, like I said before, not for us, but it was cool to have that experience, and yeah, that was cool. But all those guys, they've always been cool as shit. The Lamb of God guys with us, and
we got. I'm friends with Tony from Municipal Waste is right here. I see him around a lot. Obviously the Guar guys. Richmond's got a pretty good metal scene. Yeah, it does. The Byzantine guys from West Virginia? I don't.
Okay, because I did their last 3 albums, and I'm actually just started working on the EP that's coming out.
Oh, nice.
I guess this summer it's coming out. So that's more or less what I've been doing. I've been doing like the production and mixing engineering thing,
right?
For a while now, as opposed to the playing thing. And the money's better than the playing thing. I'll tell you that.
And steady.
Right now.
Right. Well, cool, man. I appreciate you taking the time.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Be well. Stay safe.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Cheers.
See you later. Bye.
Yes, we're out there, everyone. I'm Hal Schwartz.
And I'm Flynn McLean. Together, we host None But the Brave, a podcast dedicated to the music and career of Bruce Springsteen.
Bruce and E Street Band are on tour right now for the first time in 6 years, and we're taking a detailed look at what's happening on stage in our bi-weekly episodes.
We've also been recently joined by some very exciting guests, including rock journalist Warren Zanes and Stephen Hayden, Backstreet's Magazine founder Charles Cross, and Barstool's Kirk Minahan.
If you're a diehard Springsteen fan, this is the show for you.
So please subscribe to None But the Brave on your favorite podcasting platform, and we hope to see you further on up the road.
Thank you so much. We'll be seeing you.